Yo, what's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I want to talk about Tracy Ellis Ross. She was doing an interview with Michelle Obama on Michelle Obama's podcast, and she made some very interesting points. One, she talks about how, she regrets not at her age, not having a family, not having, kind of what she grew up in, she doesn't have that. She doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have a child or children. And she speaks on a little bit of regret from that. But she also spoke about the fact that, she doesn't want to date men her age because they, may be a bit misogynistic. And she dates younger men because let's be honest, younger men these days grew up with single mother households. They have a different viewpoint of women being the head of household and a provider. That's what makes dating younger men for these older women more attractive. These younger men are going to allow them to lead the household and pay for everything. These women want to be tricks. So if they want to be in that position, go for it. But you can't complain about compatibility. You can't complain about these men and their actions and their immaturity if that's what you're choosing. Now, again, I have nothing against Tracee Ellis Ross. She seemed like a very cool, decent person. But I just have to be honest, I saw it coming. You can't be a woman like her who's been in the industry for a long time. She basically grew up in it with her mother. And her as an actress, she went years just focusing on her career instead of a family life. And it's not normal for a woman to not want to have a child and not want to have a marriage and family. But see, society has taught women to go against their feminine path. They teach women to hate that. They teach women to compete with men and embrace masculine traits. But that is abnormal for women. But see, this is the damage that society has done to a lot of these women. But at some point, these women are going to get to the point to where they want that. They want a family. They want children. Even if they have to, go through certain avenues in order to get a child. Even if they're a single mother. Because again, it's not normal for a woman to not want to have a child and not want to have a family. Society has lied to these women and told them you don't need those things. Well, at some point, they're going to want that. I find it very interesting that at the latter part of Tracee Ellis Ross's career, she plays a wife and mother. You don't think the years of her playing that role, it didn't slowly seep into her mind that this is something that she would want to do? Of course it does. And the fact, again, that she's honing in on younger men just tells me that if she wants a relationship, it has to be a relationship on her terms, which is whatever. But are you going to be happy in that? Because no man, I don't care what his age is, especially as an adult in relationships, men are not going to want to be led by no woman. I don't understand what women don't understand about that. Only a man who is lazy and doesn't want to work and doesn't want to be successful in life is going to allow a woman that he's having relations with, by the way, to lead the family, lead the household, because that too is not normal. Now let's get into this article from The Root. Tracee Ellis Ross is opening up and getting candid about her relationship status, what she said will no doubt be relatable to a handful of other women out there. Speaking on the latest episode of IMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson podcast, Ross revealed that she is learning how to come to grips with the fact that she's still single and doesn't have any children. In fact, Ross revealed that on a deeper level, she's learning how to cope with the grief that comes with that. She's saying that it's grief, that she feels grief. Of course she does, again, because society has lied to these women and has told them to reject what makes them a woman. So much so that they're calling men women. You got heifers out here talking about how grown men are women now. This is how crazy it has gotten. And again, it goes against women's nature to reject who they are. I don't care how much you want to compete with men. You're a woman. You're going to want to be a mother one day. As much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, I still wouldn't want the wrong partner at all. I'm not interested in that. You have to make my life better. It can't just be I'm in a relationship just to be in a relationship. That is very true. That's why, again, you have to pick the right people. And the problem is, it's clear she hasn't picked the right people. She's over the age of 50. You would think that by now, and again, I have nothing against Tracy, but I just have to be honest, that you would find somebody, because Mr. Perfect ain't out there. I know a lot of women want the perfect man. The perfect man ain't out there. And sometimes there are certain things that you're going to have to compromise on. Just like men who get in relationships, there are things they're going to have to compromise on, because you're going to be dating that person and living with that person. And you may even want to have children with that person. Even though the grief does emerge and that comes, and I hold that, I think of what I've done. I think I woke up every morning trying to do my best. I didn't wake up one morning and be like, I'm gonna mess this day up. So I must be where I'm supposed to be. And I don't know, sometimes I think of all of the things I've done, the courage I've had to have, what I had to learn to navigate as a single person with no one to hide behind. And it built a really beautiful experience around me, and I have incredible friends. Ross went on to say that she began to interrogate her grief to try to pinpoint where it was coming from, and realized that she ultimately lives a very full life and is confident in the person she is. But at the end of the day, she still desires a partner. That journey has proven to be a bit difficult. However, as the Blackish star shared, that a lot of men her age subscribe to antiquated views of toxic masculinity that make it hard for her to connect. See, that's why I got to stop it right there. If you're trying to date a straight man, he's gonna be masculine. Why does people claim toxic masculinity is toxic? When you hear something bump in the middle of the night, you're not getting out your bed, Tracy, to go see what that is. You're going to wake him up and tell him to go see what's going on. When you need something fixed in the house, Tracy, you're going to ask him. You're not going to do it yourself. Now, you got instances where women will go fix things themselves, but a lot of times women will ask the man to do it. They need the man to pick up something heavy, to do yard work. She ain't going to do it. Now, you got women that will do it, but no, more than likely he will. When you're out and about and you want to feel protected, are you protecting yourself, or the guy you with is there to protect you? Let me say this, ladies. If you don't like toxic masculinity in men, then you might as well not look for a straight man. You might as well go look for a man who's not straight, and you could just be his beard. I'm just saying. Because what is this whole notion of toxic masculinity? So every woman that's married to a man, he's toxic? No. Men are meant to be masculine. They have different character traits than a woman would. I don't understand this whole thing about toxic masculinity. Yeah, men over the age of 50 grew up in a different generation, in a different era. So they're going to see things differently. Men of this generation were raised by women. Of course, they're going to acquiesce. But I would have to say, Tracy, you still haven't found the right one yet. Even though you're dating all of these non-toxic masculine men, they still have not given you the relationship that you are looking for. That's why I don't understand this notion of toxic masculinity. It really doesn't make any sense. Are you women looking to date men you have to be beards for? Or are you looking for a man who's going to give you children? A man who can be your protector? But the problem is, women don't want the men that they're with to protect them. They want the police to protect them. That's the problem. These women have been so brainwashed to the point to where they're so confused, and they don't understand that they have to sort of back away from the propaganda. But it's hard for them. It's hard for them to back away from it because they're so busy trying to compete with men, not understanding a man can wait until his 50s to get married and have a family. See, that's the thing. These women think, well, if a man can wait till he's 50, then a woman. It doesn't work that way. Because those same men in their 50s that you're calling toxic, they're going to date and marry younger women who can give them the children that they want. And you're stuck in your ways and you don't know how to navigate because you've waited and backed yourself into a corner that you can't get yourself out of. Because of this talking about toxic masculinity, I think a lot of women are just very confused and they really don't know what's going on in the world when it comes to dating. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, like the video, share. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.